Zhang Yi lowered himself to the trembling Su Hao, eyes narrowed as he demanded a story that would convince him Su Hao was not colluding with Wang Ximing. The wounded young master, his pupils contracted from the near-lethal shot, struggled for breath before admitting that siding with Zhang Yi offered the only chance of survival, while Wang Ximing represented a far more dangerous adversary. He recounted the stark hierarchy of Tianhai's second-generation elite. The Su family, once prosperous in building materials, now lived in the shadow of the Wang dynasty, whose wealth eclipsed his own by several magnitudes. Su Hao's voice turned bitter as he described the humiliation of having to grovel for Wang's favor, even delivering his own girlfriends to the richer rival's bed, a disgrace that turned him into a joke among his peers. Zhang Yi listened in disbelief as Su Hao then described the staggering scale of Wang Ximing's personal empire, noting that the 40-year-old prince allegedly keeps a harem numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Su Hao explained that a network of scouts roams the country, plucking women from every walk of life: film stars, internet anchors, high-society socialites, and even ordinary girls from remote districts, without discrimination, as long as they are deemed attractive. To manage such a legion, Wang Ximing maintains dozens of mobile phones, each assigned to a province, and each phone hosts multiple WeChat groups filled with regional beauties, both domestic and foreign. When the prince wishes company, a single message triggers a flood of women who converge on his location, sometimes arriving by any means necessary. The conversation turned to the mechanics of this bizarre system. The women eagerly obey orders, producing videos that showcase elaborate performances, even writing slogans on their bodies for online fame. Red envelopes containing tens of thousands of yuan are dispatched in the group chats, and the women who claim the largest sums broadcast their winnings, turning the whole operation into a twisted form of social wealth redistribution. Zhang Yi, stunned by the sheer logistics and excess, finally grasped why major cities teem with single women, realizing that such extravagant patronage creates a constant churn of unattached females across the nation. The exchange ended with Zhang Yi poised to decide Su Hao's fate, the tension hanging like a blade over the wounded youth's desperate pleas. Zhang Yi, having listened to Su Hao's revelations about Wang Ximing's extravagant lifestyle and poorly stocked shelter, cut through the gossip and got straight to the point. He calmly asked Su Hao to outline his proposed plan for cooperation. Seizing the opportunity, Su Hao perked up and suggested a ruse. He would maintain contact with Wang Ximing, pretending to lure Zhang Yi to the shelter to steal his supplies and snowmobiles. Once Wang Ximing opened the door, Zhang Yi could use his skills to take him down. Zhang Yi, however, immediately identified a critical flaw, questioning why the owner of a billion-dollar shelter would covet his supplies after only a month into the apocalypse. Su Hao explained that the shelter had been built on a whim a decade prior. Wang Ximing had lost interest and treated it like an ordinary villa, throwing away stockpiled supplies to make room for love nests and gyms. The conversation then turned to the matter of trust and survival. Zhang Yi's primary concern was the shelter's weaponry and anti-intrusion measures. Su Hao, recognizing this information was his only bargaining chip, refused to disclose it unless Zhang Yi formally agreed to cooperate and guarantee his future livelihood. He bluntly stated that he knew Zhang Yi planned to kill all the neighbors, including himself, once their usefulness expired, and he would rather gamble on this alliance than wait to die. A strange glint flashed in Zhang Yi's eyes as he acknowledged Su Hao's cunning assessment of his character. He silently weighed the immense benefits of acquiring the luxurious shelter against the colossal risks, primarily his deep distrust of Su Hao and the unknown, potentially impregnable defenses of a structure designed to withstand hydrogen bombs. After a long, tense silence that tormented the anxious Su Hao, Zhang Yi made his decision. He coldly agreed to let Su Hao work for him but laid out 3 non-negotiable conditions. The first was a full disclosure of the shelter's internal situation, specifically its safety devices and firepower, to which Su Hao readily agreed, having been on a tour of the facility. The second condition was for Su Hao to kill someone as a pledge of allegiance, a task Su Hao accepted without hesitation. The third and final condition was more cryptic. Zhang Yi, with a sinister smile, ordered Su Hao to follow him to the 24th floor stairwell and wait there while he went into his apartment alone to retrieve an unspecified item, leaving Su Hao to ponder his fate. Zhang Yi returned to the 24th floor stairwell carrying a mysterious silver briefcase. He confronted the waiting Su Hao and began to weave an elaborate, intimidating backstory, claiming to be a former Southeast Asian freestyle fighting champion, a mercenary who fought in the Middle East under the moniker Half a Fox, and finally, a retired assassin. As he spoke, he opened the briefcase and produced a syringe filled with a deep blue liquid. He declared it to be a slow-acting poison that would take effect in 1 week, and that receiving the injection was the non-negotiable price for his trust. Despite Su Hao's terrified protests, Zhang Yi forcefully administered the shot. The immediate, violent physical reaction convinced Su Hao of the poison's authenticity. He collapsed to the ground, dry heaving and struggling to breathe, overwhelmed by dizziness and nausea. Zhang Yi coldly explained that this measure was a necessary guarantee against betrayal, promising the antidote and a comfortable life once Wang Ximing's shelter was secured. A thoroughly subdued and ill Su Hao pledged his loyalty once more before struggling to leave, holding onto the handrail for support as he descended the stairs. With Su Hao gone, Zhang Yi privately revealed the truth. The injection was not poison but methylene blue, a drug whose side effects when injected quickly perfectly mimicked poisoning symptoms, creating an unshakable psychological leash on his new agent. His immediate business concluded, Zhang Yi returned to his apartment and checked the security feed from Uncle Yu's room. Seeing that the mutant was awake and that Xie Lime was whispering to him, Zhang Yi entered. He approached Uncle Yu with a smile, expressing relief at his recovery. He then pulled open his coat to reveal the bulletproof vest he had been wearing, casually dismissing the threat posed by Huang Tianfang's gang and their old gun. He stated that Uncle Yu's act of taking the bullet for him, while brave, was ultimately unnecessary. In a few deft sentences, Zhang Yi made it clear that he felt no debt was owed, neatly settling the account to avoid any future obligation.